Hello, Luciano Ruas speaking about the Brazilian accent improvisation. And today we are going to talk about a non-obvious accent in Brazilian music. We are going to talk about the accent of Minas Gerais. For who doesn't know, Minas Gerais is a state of the southwest part of Brazil. It's under it's make frontiers with Salvador, Rio de Janeiro, Espírito Santo, and São Paulo. And Minas created a unique sound in its music. One of the things that created this, that musicians didn't have had the total access to what was happening in the music of another states. Then it was created a unique sound there that it's important that that like Brazilian music to know this. It sounds very different. And when we say we talk about the music of Minas Gerais, very important thing, very important person is I think it's the name who is the symbol of these sounds, of these mineiros. Mineiro is a person who was born in Minas. And this name is Milton Nascimento. Milton Nascimento was born, he grew up, in the city of Três Pontas. And he developed a very interesting relation with music. His first instrument was a harmonica when he was a kid. The second instrument was a accordion, button accordion, and he says that his first musical influence was the voice of his mother. It's interesting because he uses in some songs the high register singing like a woman voice, and he has a very extensive range in his voice. He does very different sounds, and how can I say, create some environments using the adding more voices. And I think a very interesting thing I have to say to you that doesn't know the music of Minas is that the conditions allow it to grow something very original. And how did it happen? Milton Nascimento grew up in a city with few musicians and didn't have access to study. And his father and mother used to hear opera and classical music, but he didn't have a teacher. He had a neighbor called Wagner Tiso that was a pianist that studied piano, that was also important to develop this sound. But the difficulty in the access of good Brazilian music helped them. For example, I think the influences besides the classical music were the musics of the church and the musics of the. We have a party here in Brazil, um, in the 6th of January, that it's the party of kings, and these kings were the kings. I don't know how to translate, if it translates in Brazilian. It's wizard kings that are in the Bible, in the Jesus born, and he was influenced by this music of this party, and they heard a lot of radio music. But in Minas, it's a city with so much mountains, and the frequency of radio doesn't sound very clear. It had strong static in the sound, and they couldn't hear clearly the sounds that played the radio, like Beatles, like another rock songs, and sometimes bossa nova. Then he joined with his friends to learn some music from the radio, but they didn't hear the bass part clearly and the harmony also. One of his friends learned the lyrics and tried to learn the song when it played on the radio. It was very difficult. And when they got access to these recordings, they realized that they sounded different. The bass were not the same in the recordings, so it changes when they played. They had different chords, and I heard two versions of this story. That one version, they said some of them realized that these harmonies they created were more interesting than the original harmonies from other songs. And another version says when they discovered, they tried to change, but someone told they to continue playing in that manner because it was original. It sounded different, and it was interesting. Another important experience I think Milton had is when he moved to Belo Horizonte, and the capital of the Minas Gerais state. He played the acoustic bass, and he didn't have classes. He had to play at nightclubs, and when he was playing, he was trying to discover the instrument. He didn't use the fourth and fifth movements that are common to use in the bass movements. He searched for notes that walking in little paths. He, for example, just one tone or half a tone up or half a tone down. Smaller movements. We here in Brazil we say like neighbor tones. And another thing, he searched for interesting bass that when stopped in the same note create different sensations. And I think this is the one of peculiar thing about the music of Minas Gerais. It has a lot of pedal points, and I'm gonna show to you some pedal points of introductions or songs that Milton composed, and I think they are very interesting. Another thing to do is to say is that he discovered in the guitar also harmonies, interesting harmonies with simple chords. And how to do that? For the reason he didn't have music teachers, he didn't use the progressions of, for example, the harmonic field, major harmonic field. He searched for his own progressions without worrying with the if he has relation with the tonality. Then he did very interesting harmonies, modal harmonies with simple chords. Then, different of bossa nova, this music, music from Minas, happened in the same period that bossa nova was happening. Minas music has a different quality of rich harmony, not using so many tensions in the chords like in bossa nova, but sometimes using just triads and pedal points and modal harmonies and parallel movements. Also, they discovered new ways of solving harmony issues. Then they are very interesting. I'm gonna show some of the songs that make this imaginary sound of Minas Gerais. For example, this is called Travessia. This is in the introduction with a pedal pointing knee, for example. We have Coração de Estudante. It means student's heart, and it has a pedal pointing in the introduction also. Another song, interesting song called Morro Velho. So it goes. Another interesting song is called Milagre dos Peixes. Fish's Miracle. It's a pedal point in A. And we have a famous music, I think, for jazz players. It's famous. That is Veracruz. So this is Veracruz. Milton became a world-class musician. Today he's recognized as for his songs all over the world. He played with a lot of great jazz musicians, names like Herbie Hancock, Pat Metheny, and Wayne Shorter also. He played in jazz festivals all over the world. Then I recommend you to hear one of his last his last recordings. I think it's very interesting, not traditional but very interesting, is his CD with the Metropoli Orchestra. There are very beautiful arrangements of orchestra, and these arrangements are just orchestrations of the compositions we did in Minas. When you find a harmonies, pedal points, and some details, interesting details, you're gonna realize that they are all in original music, but very well recorded. And another names I say that made this music of Minas, and important names were Lô Borges, Toninho Horta, Flávio Venturini, and others. Fernando Brand did Ronaldo Bastos lyrics. These two last made a lot of lyrics. And today's songs, I think one of the composers that for me represents the sound of Minas in a modern way. And Milton sounded more modern, and is still doing music. But there is one composer, I think it's the most interesting composer now in Minas Gerais that has a relation with the music of Milton Nascimento, is Sérgio Santos. Sérgio Santos, it's a guitar player and singer. He does marvelous melodies, and with awesome harmony, very interesting to hear. Then I would recommend you these two names, Milton Nascimento and Sérgio Santos. Alright, thanks for watching me. I hope you like this and research for songs and learn with them. I think will be important to you improvisers to open mind for Brazilian music besides samba, bossa nova, because we have so much more to show the world. Okay? Thanks for watching. Bye bye.